Hello, lads. Hello, ladies, and welcome back. It's Sunday evening, which means one thing. It's Sky Bet League One review time. 11 games in Sky Bet League One to feast our eyes on 28 goals in Sky Bet League One this weekend. The top two win again. The bottom four changes a little bit more, and there's drama throughout the division. Again, a bumper-packed hour-long show. Going into the international break, the quarter mark of the Sky Bet League One season. We've had bumps along the way. We're going to talk about that as we go into the next block, which is one of the most important parts of the Sky Bet League One season. As you are joining, please like this stream. It does help more than you will know. And subscribe down below. We're just over 200 subscribers away from the big 12,000. Before we go and get our co-host in, let's say hello to everyone in the comments. Hello, Blackett Taylor, Vinny in League One. Hello, mate. Hiya, Alfie. Hope you're all right. All right, guys. Hello. Good evening. Let me know if you can see and hear me all right, by the way. A bit late now, isn't it? We're only 2 minutes into the show. Evening to you both. Here she is. Hello, Sue. Hope you're well. See you in a couple of weeks. Cambridge versus Burton. Score prediction for tomorrow. We'll come on to that later on. But before we get into it, let's bring him in. The co-host of all co-hosts. It's Jake from the Stacey West podcast, formerly. But the channel of 72. Idiot. Let's be honest, right? It's Jake Tong, that Lincoln guy. He's got he's kind of like a free agent. He's got no home, and like he kind of attaches himself to like different people, and we don't know where he belongs. Hi, mate.
Evening, Ben.
It's the tip of the tongue. He's so used to saying it.
I'll make you pay for that when we play you in a couple of weeks. That'll be that'll be a nice meal, that will. But yes, I'm okay, mate. I'm all good. I've had a few computer issues trying to sort a computer out, but we're all good for now.
How was your weekend?
Well, yesterday was pretty decent. Got although I don't know if you'd never go on the train, Ben, to an away day, but we decided to go on the train.
We go to Barnsley on the train.
We went. Well, yes, but okay. Let me put it another way. You don't have enough fans to cause an issue on the train line wherever you go. You could be going to Blackpool. All the Fleetwood fans would fit on a single carriage on a tram. You'd be fine, right? We took, I think it was 1700 to Posh yesterday.
Yeah, 1700.
And the trains from Lincoln to Peterborough, no extra carriages. We were half an hour late leaving Peteborough in the end because it was kicking off, because Lincoln and Posh, it's not a rivalry, but it's a local derby. And it kicked off. So, yes, it was good. I mean, the football was rubbish, but... and then we recorded T-Lock today as well, which is excellent as always, because there were some excellent moments throughout the hour and 20 minutes. So go and give that a subscribe and a view to patreon.com/that League One pod. But yeah, no, I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yes, very good. About football, if I speak, suspended 6 months. 6 months suspension. We'll come into it then. Oxford United played at home to Bristol Rovers in the early kickoff in Sky Bet League One. Derby? Really? No, I'm not having that. But again, Oxford did win this game of football. Bristol Rovers, I think, won their last season. I think Bristol Rovers, actually, when they went there at the end of last season, they'd lost 5 or 6 in a row and won there. But it's a bit of a different turnaround this time. Oxford, I kind of think that it's about time we've given Oxford credit, Jake, but we've kind of given Portsmouth more credit than kind of Oxford. Oxford on points per game are doing better than Portsmouth. Yeah. Oxford have won the last 5 matches. They've won 9 out of the last 10. They lost on the opening day of the season. They scored 23 goals, which is the second most in the division. behind Barnsley. They conceded 9, which is the second least in the division behind, Portsmouth. They've got 4 clean sheets, 2.45 points a game. They're not doing too badly, are they? They're doing fantastically well.
Yeah, they've certainly gone from one extreme to another, haven't they? Last year, they couldn't string 2 passes together and had no attacking input and were defensively causing all sorts of carnage at the back. This year, Manning's had a summer to completely jump to gut that team out and bring his own men in, and they're reaping the rewards of trusting an elite coach like Liam Manning. You know, his pedigree and what he's achieved in his short spell in professional football will tell you it all. And this run from Oxford of 9 wins in 10 and taking them to, let's be honest, they won the game in hand. What, 2 points clear at the top of the table? It's a sensational turnaround for Oxford, and they're doing it playing even better football than what he did when he was at MK Dons. I think this Oxford team are more balanced. They've got more threats from around the pitch. You mentioned on T-Lop every week, Ben. It's the defenders scoring all the goals, and this week it was the attackers scoring the goals. They've had a bit of a mix. So, yeah, Oxford, lots of credit. However, and it does come with a caveat, they were fortunate. Bristol Rovers didn't have any gilt edge opportunities, but they did have 1 or 2 moments go against them. I think they can feel a little bit aggrieved, but Joey Barton does really well going to these big sides nowadays. So, yes, good for Oxford. Bristol Rovers also played very, very well, but the points went to Liam Manning and his tricky yellows, unfortunately, for Joey.
Yeah, I think the positive is they kept going, didn't they? Obviously, there's a couple of sending offs. Ryan Woods with the hospital pass gave Oxford a goal. There's drama. There's been a lot of sending offs this year, hasn't there? Obviously, with the new rules, kicking the ball away.
Oxford, though, mate. Oxford. That's the second time Oxford have finished
2 off at Vale. Yeah,
it's mental. I mean, you look at the yellow cards. Giovanni Brown, the first one, I struggle to think it's a yellow because he's genuinely kicked the ball away as the ref blew the whistle. Second one, yeah, it's his second yellow card. O'Sheen Smith, second yellow card. Stupid, kicking the ball away. You know you're going to get a yellow card for it. I mean, I know this is not League One related, but did you see Alex Greenwood's red card today for Man City women? She was on a second yellow, and she's on a yellow card
on Twitter.
And she took about 20 seconds taking a free kick. The rules are ridiculous. That's part of the game, I think.
It was Arsenal against Palace in the season. I think was it Zinchenko got sent off, and then there was another. It was Zinchenko, and there was a Palace player, and then there was another Arsenal player. It might have been. Anyway, they took 20 seconds. Zinchenko took 8 seconds. They sent one off and they didn't send the other one off. So it's really weird for me. But Bristol Rovers, Aaron Collins scored a goal. He's got 3 goals, 3 assists now, and he's starting to look lively. Also, he had 4 shots on target yesterday. Before we carry on, we do that after every stream. That's the first thing that I go and do. So if you do go in, I know there's been a couple of troubles that I've not quite done it right, but in the last stream we did, you can literally see underneath the video as you click video every segment, and it's kind of 10 seconds between because bits of cuts and we want to get the full part of every team. I know he liked it because he liked it just before I came on T-Lop before. I didn't know he quoted it, so I'll have to have a look at that at the end of the show. We're going to go to Bolton now, and what a result for Carlisle United. Now, I think this is a result of the Sky Bet League One season. I think this is bigger than Wigan going there winning 4-0. I think you kind of put Wigan winning at Bolton more than you would put Carlisle winning at Bolton. 2 big crowds have gone to Bolton this year and won the game. I know obviously they beat Derby, who took an exceptional number of supporters, as you'd expect. It's the second home defeat of the season, Jake. Bolton, 69% possession, only 0.86 expected goals. They only had the 3 shots on target. And Cogley, Williams, Charles, Adebayo, Sheehan, Thomason, Dempsey. That front line, obviously, before the defenders, looked so flat, didn't they? And Bolton, at the moment, they're either really good where they can pull off a couple of good results. Winning away at Port Vale is a good result. Winning against Stevenage is a really good result. Before we credit Carlisle, how poor were Bolton?
Yeah, Bolton, not their best day at the office. Perhaps they had the 6 points this week so far, and they thought they were home and hose playing newly promoted Carlisle. I don't think Ian Evatt would allow his players to have that sort of mentality. But yeah, on the pitch they were horrific. They didn't create loads. They were, there was a lot of, and I noticed this because I've watched the extended highlights. There was a lot of Bolton players standing on the ball and no movement around, for that player to play the ball to. So that is one of the issues when you're playing against a side like Carlisle who will sit in a low block and there's you have to have lots of movement to try and drag them out of position to open up space. And the attacking players who've been so good at doing it, I think I highlighted it when we played them, and it's certainly the case when you played them. The likes of Dempsey and Adebayo and Charles and Lundaloo, very good at moving, manipulating space. But on Saturday, just I'm not sure what it was. Maybe they're tired. I don't know what it is. But they were very poor on Saturday.
I think fatigue was mentioned by a couple of clubs this week. Lee Johnson mentioned it certainly. I think obviously Bolton struggled. That third game in a week is really, really tough. And I know Bolton have got options, but they are similar. Like, look, they can swap it up from. They can put Daniel Undu up there. They can put a Jerome up there.
Yeah.
Again, the wing backs are the same. And the way Bolton play, it is high pressing, energy balls. They play out from the back, and the wing backs are very important in that. Sheehan obviously he's not getting any younger. Dempsey, is an experienced pro. Thomason obviously has come in the last few weeks again. He's been a squad player. But I think for Carlisle, they've been improving as weeks have been going on. And to get that result, I think shows, the determination they've done. And they've gone to some really good places of late and got points. Stevenage got a last-minute goal. Lincoln, they got a really good point for. Against Peteborough, they battled to the 95th minute. Here, they got a result. They beat Shrewsbury at home. So they've been really improving. Obviously, they started slow, got a couple of points against Fleetwood at home and Wigan at home. Hang on, I think my Wi-Fi. I do apologise about that, guys. If that does happen, my Wi-Fi's been a bit silly tonight. But again, can you see me now? Can you hear me?
Unfortunately, so mate. Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, and it was a really good result for Carlisle. An absolute credit to the football club. 4,500 Carlisle fans went down. Train strikes and weather permitting, obviously spoiled for a few. But again, a really good performance. Joe Gardner missed a penalty. He's got fond memories there as well from a 4-2 defeat, but scored a goal that nearly kept Fleetwood in the division, but it didn't matter on the day. Great result for Carlisle, and they deserve all the credit. The biggest result in League One yet this season? Let me know in the comments.
Yeah, Carlisle were excellent, and I think they've been building up to this. I seem to remember saying to you, Ben, when they came and got a point off us, I thought they were really good, really good. Luke Plans looks completely rejuvenated after his loan spell here last year. Jordan Gibson's very, very neat with the ball at his feet, very quick, and that certainly showed yesterday. I thought he was excellent. I mean, obviously scoring a hat-trick. But Carlisle excellent out of possession. They did a great job. Did the job on Bolton, frustrated. And then when they had their opportunities like they did, then they took them. I mean, the first penalty is not a penalty. Carl Dempsey gets the ball for me. So a little bit of justification when Baxter saves it. Second one, I have no complaints about. And then Jordan Gibson, the second one is deflected and loops over the goalkeeper, and the third one is, Bolton were pushing for an equaliser. I think you'd rather lose a game 3-1 than you would 2-1 if there's an opportunity to go and make it 2-2. So Carlisle were very good, mate, and I think their performances in recent weeks have certainly led up to this point.
Let's fly through Sky Bet League One now. Charlton 2, Blackpool 2. A game between two sides, in my opinion, that are quite similar in styles and where they want to be. The two sides that are outside the playoff picture at this moment in time. The two sides that I think I put into the playoffs. I can't remember your predictions, but I put Charlton 4th and I put Blackpool 5th. So I think that kind of shows you I had them meeting in the playoffs. That's how tightly I had them in the playoffs. And on the pitch, Blackpool were brilliant. And Blackpool, between minutes of, the 31st and the 45, they're very good. Between after half-time, they're very good. I think they've got the most goals in Sky Bet League One between the minutes of 31 and 45 minutes. And that shows you what, Blackpool are about. And they've got goal scorers now in Jordan Rhodes, obviously Dembele scoring yesterday. Lavery, again, back into the picture in the last few weeks. 2-0 up away at the Valley to lose that feels horrifically bad. But for Charlton, in the last 6 games, win, draw, win, draw, win, draw. And we always say, go on an unbeaten run. Unbeaten run. We're at 15 and a half minutes. We've already had it. Internet and Ben Knapman struggling for words. And obviously we say 2 points a game in an unbeaten run, and just they're doing that at this moment in time. Unbelievable for Charlton. And before you carry on, Alfie May, again, I put a little tweet out before that he's quote tweeted apparently. 50 Sky Bet League One goals in 95 games. He started 87, came off the bench 8 times, scored a 23, scored 20, and scored 7 now for Charlton. He's got a few assists in there as well, but that is nearly, just over a goal every 2 games. The boy scores goals, and, he what I like about him as well? He's a perfect number 9, but he doesn't play as a number 9. He plays as an attacking midfielder most of the time as well. He is so good. And I think you can kind of see with Cheltenham's demise.
There's a reason I put him in the in my League One draft over the summer, Ben, because he is, probably behind Colby Bishop, probably the most complete striker that we've got at this level that's scoring goals. Look, on Blackpool, you're disappointed. Jordan Rose, obviously, another goal. There's rumours that he's going back to Huddersfield, isn't there, over the summer? Over January, sorry, that would be a really big loss for them. But you're right, 2-0 up away at the Valley. They were in control. There was no... Charlton didn't really throw any punches early doors. Blackpool were comfortable at 2-0. Then they get the first. And it pretty much is a couple of goals in the space of a couple of minutes, really, and it all just goes downhill. But for Charlton, I think it's one of those draws that feel like a win because you've come from 2-0 down, because you were staring down the barrel of nothing and you've got something. So, yes, obviously you mentioned Alfie May there, who's now your best mate, as well as Eric Eisner. Great centre forward, great player, and Charlton. I think you said, Ben, if he scores 25 goals, that's 10 grand a goal. That's it's a deal. That's a deal of the century, mate. If he can go and score 25 goals and have them in the playoffs, that would be great. I had Charlton third, by the way, if you wanted to know.
So we all had them in similar areas, and under Michael Appleton, they are going to go on a good run, and he's a bit like something. He's a proper man about it, and you kind of feel that he will go and lift spirits. And one thing I will say about Michael Appleton, because I think it may happen eventually, and it definitely happened at Lincoln. When he's going well, Michael Appleton is a really good manager in charge of your football club. But when it doesn't go quite well, he's not the greatest of types to have, because he kind of gives me the impression that he's kind of like, well, he's right. And he's kind of like a bit stubborn and a little bit
stubborn, very stubborn.
I think at Blackpool, you saw with his interviews, you're a little bit dour at times, and you kind of think he's not like a Warnock or someone that you can kind of just go, I love you. And at the end of the day, Jake, when managers are doing press conferences, you've got to let the lesson be your teacher. I wonder who said that this weekend. Before we do carry on, we need to try and keep this up. Run going and extend the Taylor contract. Quick, thank you so much for the donation. Appreciate that. We can't defend the dangerous forward, Anike, May and Taylor. Yeah, Anike came on and changed the game yesterday.
What he does, though, Ben. What he does. Chuks Anike has made a career of coming off the bench and influencing games. At MK Dons, he did it when we were in League Two together. He's doing it for Charlton. Fantastic player off the bench.
Here he is. Hello, Dylan. Next up, Cheltenham. What happened, Jake? What happened?
I can't believe they actually scored a bloody goal. And do you know what? It was actually a very well-worked goal whilst it was there. Do you know what I mean?
It was a very good goal.
It was a very... And do you know what? I've watched I watched Matt's video. I thought it was very good. I've watched everyone's video this weekend. They're all very good. But I could definitely hear the delight in Matt's voice when Rob Street was at the back post and stuck it into an empty net. It's a great ball across from Goodwin, isn't it? And they had opportunities before that they probably should have taken, but Wildsmith made a couple of good saves. They just didn't. They hit them straight at him sometimes, and for it to finally fall for Rob Street, who let's be honest, he's not been
working hard.
Yeah, he's not been Cheltenham's worst player. He's had a tough time of it, but felt he was in the right place at the right time, which we've seen he can be, because he did it at Shrewsbury a little bit last season. So, yes, Cheltenham scored a goal. They probably could have had another one as well, but you know what? Let's pace them down a little bit. Let's not get them too excited by saying they can score 2 goals at this moment in time in the game, because we don't know. But yes, very, very good for Cheltenham for Derby. I mean, again, we said this on T-Lop earlier. All the good work that they did on Tuesday night away at Blackpool, but winning, gone in the space of 90 minutes because they couldn't beat Cheltenham. And everyone's beaten Cheltenham this year, apart from Portsmouth. Hey, Dylan, isn't that right, mate? But yes, disappointed for Derby, for Cheltenham. Matthew was thrilled, and I think he's only right to be so.
One thing, it was obviously Goodwin got the assist as well. So it's the two strikers linking up together, which I think is important. I kind of think with Derby, look, it's disappointing, but just calm down a little bit because Cheltenham, you always say they were going to score eventually. You're not going to go 46. They were going to get a point eventually, and it's against you. So it's kind of like, well, it's hard, but be respectful for that. And well done to Cheltenham. For Derby, I don't think it's all too bad. The 2 points off the top 6, 4 points off third. It's not bad. And they've got Barkusen back who's flying now. Collins has obviously done well in previous weeks. And they've got Horahain hopefully coming back. They've had so many injuries. They've had rotten luck this season. Next up, Exeter Barnsley, a last minute winner for Barnsley, 22 points now. They're 5 points off the top two. They're on 1.83 points per game. They won 1.86 points last season. They've won 6 of the last 8. They've won 5 out of 6 away from home, 16 points away from home, best in League One, scored 12, conceded 2. They're not doing too badly. And they've got goals from all over the pitch, kept another clean sheet, 6 clean sheets to the name this season. What a win. And Exeter is a horrible place to go to.
Yes, and I've just had a Snapchat notification from Dylan, so I'm guessing I've just been told off for telling them that they couldn't beat Cheltenham at home, which is a shame. But
yeah, but yeah, bloody away from the playoffs. You're bloody away from the playoffs. We're still unbeaten. We beat you. Regan Pell scored.
It's not a bad impression. Although Dill tries to be a little bit more cockney than anything else. But do you know what? Barnsley were severely underrated, actually. I certainly have them outside the top 6. I think most people did, Ben. I think you might have had them just missing out. Yeah, missing out. And we all thought the Michael Duff effect was going to completely fall off. Obviously, he's doing wonders at Swansea. They've won 4 in a row now in the Championship after a rocky start. But Neil Collins coming in, we didn't know what he was about. And do you know what? Week on week, they seemed to be in Port Vale where they weren't great. But, the win on Tuesday at Cambridge, 4-0. It's got 4-0 written all over it. Grow up, whatever. It was great. And then to back it up away at Exeter, which is a tough place to go. I mean, I know Northampton and Orient have won there in recent weeks, but still, it's a very decent place to go and get 3 points. So, yes, for Barnsley, very good week.
Blue Army TV is very good, isn't it? Is it Blue Army TV?
Blue Army TV, yeah, a very good fan. He's done he doesn't go to the games, I don't think, but he does a lot of reactions and stuff. So.
Next up, Fleetwood Town, over 100 people in the live chat, by the way. So thank you so much for that. And sorry if I do cut out the Wi-Fi. He is playing up tonight again. Strong wins out there. It's not helping me cause. Fleetwood 1, Oxford 4. Oxford 4, Wycombe 4. I've got Oxford in my mind. They should be top at league. Fleetwood Town 1, Wycombe 4. Wycombe was sublime, Jake.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm going to let you talk through it and I'll chip in.
Yeah. Look, difficult really. I have seen your video and I have managed to get the highlights back, but I think the first goal in any game is really, really important at this level. And the way that it come about, Lee Johnson, I think, will be tearing his hair out because it's come from a ball in from the right hand side, and it's Dale Taylor's not aiming for goal. Dale Taylor was looking to flip that ball to the back post for his left wing back Harry Boyce to arrive, or a midfielder, or whoever it is. And Jay Lynch has sort of gone, well, it's going to go over my net. I'm not too worried about it, and it's dropped in. And you might not see it, but that changes the game straight away. Gives Wycombe an extra impetus. It means you've then got to go and, if you want to go and get a result, you've then got to go and play a bit more attacking, which you've done in recent weeks, to be fair, winning against Orient and Cheltenham. And then when you sort of go and play a bit more attacking, they can pick you off. And at times it looked like that actually happened. The second goal, I'm not sure on the build-up, but it comes from a it looks like the ball's been turned over, and then Wycombe were able to knock it in with Freddie Potts, and the third goal, something looks very similar. And then when you're 3-0 down, you're thinking, well, what's the point? Clearly the heads are dropped. You get a goal back from Marriott, who, to be fair to him, after all the rumour in the summer about leaving for Oxford and whatever, to be fair to him, he's stuck his hat on and done very well. A couple of goals, one away at Cheltenham on Tuesday night, and one again on Saturday. Took his goal very well. And then, well, Luke Leahy, we know he can do that from a dead ball situation. He was very good at it last year for Shrewsbury. Sticks it top corner, and all of a sudden it goes 4-1. So I think the margins are slightly tighter than what the game suggests. You've obviously branded it the worst half of Wycombe football you've ever seen a Fleetwood play. Not the first time you've said that this year, Ben, I seem to recall either. So I'd be a little bit alarmed. But look, Wycombe are... Yeah, do you know what? Tom made the point when they played Wycombe in midweek that Pompey had got 13 points out of 15. Wycombe, in that same 15, picked up 12.
Yeah.
They've been very impressive. And Bloomfield's getting that philosophy across, and he's starting to churn it out, and they're getting results now. And yeah, the performances are matching the results. So you know what? Wycombe are going to be a threat this year. But Fleetwood, a little bit alarmed, I think.
Fleetwood have conceded 10 in 5 home games. They've conceded 18 goals, which is 36% of the amount they conceded last season on 51 in 46 games. To be 3-0 down at home, to give up the way he did in that first half, to not get out to runners, let Brandon Hanlon, let Potts, let them have joy, was an absolute disgrace. And if anyone comes at me and go, we show glimpse, we show a bit of, character in the second half, well done. You've done your job for the second half. Well done. It took 45 minutes too late. You cannot let Oxford, you cannot let Wycombe have time on the ball in midfield, because they will eat you alive. They are good sides, and things have to change quickly. Otherwise, Fleetwood Town will be relegated. It is simple as that. Carlisle is showing fight. Reading are poor, but at home, they're showing a little bit of fight. Away from them, they just don't have the quality. And that's the issues they've got there. Wigan have been struggling lately, but they've shown fight. I feel for Lee Johnson, and Lee Johnson, I think, will be the right man to get us out of it. Let the lesson be your teacher. And Fleetwood Town got the best fans in the world yesterday. He came out with, which was a little bit bizarre, but it was a disappointing day at the office, and I need to see more. Josh Vela, who I was a big fan of last season, 6 bookings in, and he's played 10 matches, Jake. He's our captain. He threw the armband away yesterday, apparently. I didn't see it. And it seems to be kind of a bit of a free-for-all. Will you play there? We don't know the system, and it's a shame at this moment in time. But for Wycombe, they were brilliant. Hanlon, Phillips, Taylor were absolutely. So, well done to Wycombe on 3 massive points. And, I think they're very good. I like Lee, I like Glow, I like Potts. Boys and Patterson, by the way, on the wings were sublime in that opening 15, 20 minutes. They nearly linked up for a goal for each of them. So, really good. Patterson's just come into the side of late. I think the top 5 moments yesterday was Carlisle winning at Bolton, Cheltenham scoring a goal. I looked at Oxford and Portsmouth winning again as one. I saw, a couple of other things, odd goals and, certain situations. Wycombe coming to Fleetwood as the takeaways from this week. This next one was probably my favourite bit of the weekend. Leyton Orient winning a game of football. I have the notification, and I want them to win that game of football so bad for Derek. Derek, we mentioned it on Wednesday, sadly lost his life, and you were there, Jake, and it was an awful situation. So we send thoughts and prayers to everyone at Leyton Orient and Derek. But I kind of think, his family was there. Leyton Orient won the game of football. They won it in a good sense as well. They started this season in League One so proud, and they've just done everyone at their football club proud this week. They've done it. They've done themselves. How they've dealt with it, I'm not saying how the officials dealt with it on Tuesday night was acceptable by any means, but how they've dealt with it, how Lincoln dealt with it, deserves credit as well. But Leyton Orient, sublime. Well done to them. And 6 points off the bottom. Is it 9? We'll come to that later on in this when we know, because the EFL put the table out with Leyton Orient 3 points higher than they are. That doesn't matter at this moment in time. But at this moment in time, Leyton Orient are 6 points adrift before that game gets decided.
Yeah, and just what you say, I'm sure, both of our thoughts and everyone that we know, and we had a little bit of a tribute to Derek on T-Lock this week. It's horrible for someone to go to a football game and not come back. It's criminal. You can't, we can't let that happen. And the way it went down on Tuesday, I don't want to try and relive it because it's very traumatic for a number of reasons. But I think I'm the same as you, Ben. I didn't want anyone, even above Lincoln winning yesterday, I wanted Leyton Orient to win, purely because of the week they've been through. And do you know what? On what is it, a 90th minute winner from George Moncur, very late on, isn't it? I was delighted to see that they had gone in and they'd come away with 3 points. There's not a lot more to say, mate. Really, they were fantastic. You're looking at the graph; they were all over Reading pretty much, who are one of the only teams to not pick up any points away from home so far this year. They bossed the ball, which doesn't surprise me because they did the same to us on Tuesday night. They pinged the ball around really well. Max Sanders been really effective since he's come in. Satoriu, fantastic in that midfield with El Mazzuni. And Joe Pigott as well, who Tom's got a lot of time for at Portsmouth. He's done very well, scored the goal on Tuesday. It's a great strike from Jordan Brown for the first one. And then Moncur, 90th minute. I just hope that that Derek's family were there to watch that, and that they really felt that win was for them. And it was really touching that the captains of both sides went and laid a wreath in front of the stand where it all happened on Tuesday. So yes, very happy for Orient. Couldn't have happened to a nicer club. They're fantastic bunch down there. And do you know what? Just finally on the whole situation, Ben, I hope the fans who went on the pitch to try and stop the game on Tuesday, I hope to God they've not got a banning order, because they were doing the right thing. They were manhandled and taken out of the ground. It was disgusting. I hope, for the love of God, that they are given their season tickets back and they can continue going to watch the football club they love. But yes, that's what
football's all about.
That's my final piece, mate. It was horrible. It's not the first time that's happened while I've been somewhere. It happened at Chesterfield a couple of years ago when we were in League Two, and it's not a nice experience. I'm sure you've been in the ground before where there's been medical emergencies. So yes, thoughts and prayers with Derek and his family. These are very, very good bloke by all accounts. So
yeah, absolutely, and worked with him obviously in the early 90s as well. I think another tribute, Lady Cathy, obviously unfortunately lost her life this week, and Peterborough put a performance on for Darren Ferguson, and obviously it's sad when stuff like this happens. But for Peterborough, we're starting to see, I think, Peterborough from 3 or 4 years ago, where they are ruthless at home. They've won 4 out of 6 at home. They've won the last 3 at home. They scored 7 goals, conceded 0, Jake, in that time. Poku, Randell, Mason Clark Harris had a boy coming on. He's been brilliant. He was on loan at Sutton, wasn't he, last season? I think he scored 4 in 20-odd times, 21 times there last season. They're playing a good Lincoln side. Lincoln have lost 3 games, but all to good sides. Portsmouth away, Peterborough away, and Bolton away. The sides that Lincoln shouldn't be beaten, but if you've got aspirations to get into the top 6, you should. And I said on T-Lock before, and you nodded your head at me, which I think is better than a grunt. Lincoln City are a good side. Lincoln City are a playoff side. They're a striker away. They need a striker to be that side, because Mandroyu, Hackett, I know Mandroyu lost the ball and his attitude wasn't great yesterday, but on his day he's fantastically brilliant. But flair players, they have got attitude issues. Hackett, Aaron and Hamilton talk about attitudes. I think they're especially Ethan in that midfield. I'll say Ethan for now. I'll say Ethan. Even in that midfield, I think his attitude is sublime, and he never gives up. Rufflin, Burrows, Mitchell, Jackson, O'Connor, Jensen, a 3-4-3, 5.
Yeah, 3-4-3.
Yeah. 5-4-1 when Peterborough are pinning you back, believe me, because it does happen. If you had a Jack Marriott, if you had a Colby Bishop, if you had a maybe even like
a Ben House, mate. If we had Ben House, we would be.
His injuries have killed you. Injuries have killed you. They really have. And I look at Wycombe yesterday, the talent they've got up front. Hanlon, Sam Vokes came off the bench.
Taylor,
Dale Taylor. I don't like to bring it up. You've lost 3 of your last 4 visits to London Road. The other one, you were 3-0 up in and you drew 3-3 and it cost you automatic promotion.
Thanks. Yeah, and in that game there was a bit of a dive, which I won't want to go on to because...
Talking of diving, how is Brennan doing these days?
He's doing pretty well for himself, I think. But no, Sammy Schmollix was the man that day. He's now top scorer in the championship, so you know what, fair play to him. I'll give you Peterborough first. Very touching for both of their goals. They both ran over to Ferguson to go and celebrate with him. That was a very... I'm sure if it wasn't Lincoln they were playing, it would have been a very touching moment. And you know what, fair play to Ferguson for showing up because, you know, if your mum's died, you don't have to go to work the next day. If my mum passed away tomorrow, I would not be going into work on Tuesday, put it that way. But yeah, Peterborough, you know, you say they're ruthless at home, Ben. I don't think they were very good yesterday. And I think that might be because they played Lincoln. But they didn't move the ball around. You know, compare it to when we went there last year, nowhere near as good. They didn't put the ball around anywhere near as much. Yes, they were effective. The subs changed the game. Andrew Boye come on and changed it. But the player that by far the best player for Posh yesterday was Randall, and he's taken a few years to get into some sort of form for Peterborough because he's been very disappointing. But for Lincoln, first half should have been 2-0 up, no doubt about it. Danny Mandroyu's done all the hard work, just has to put it past the keeper, puts too much on it. Sean Rowan as well misses a header from about 5 yards out. I think Mark Kennedy said it in the interview that he's got to be scoring that. And if you're scoring the first 2 goals in a game away at London Road, you're going to go and win the game. But second half, like I told you, Danny Mandroyu loses the ball. They were talking 60, 70 yards away from his own goal, Ben, and he just doesn't run back. And he just puts his arms up in the air and goes, you know what, I can't be bothered. And as a fan, you are really annoyed by that because your players are meant, you know, you paid to go and watch them, you paid to go and watch them.
Especially Lincoln. I'm not being funny. Like, Lincoln are a good side and you're much better than Fleetwood. But Peterborough are a better side than Lincoln overall with the budget that they have and the players they have on show. And they've been in the championship. They've got that experience. They've got, you have as well. They've got a shoe business owner. They've got, they're kind of probably where you want to be. If you look at 5 years and you go, if we could be a Peterborough situation where we have a go with the championship and have a go at staying up, you'd be happy with that. And you don't give up. You don't. That's why I'm so angry at Fleetwood. I can accept losing 5-0. Right? Yesterday it could have been 6 or 7-2, 7-3. You do not give up ever.
Yeah. And if it was Ethan Hamilton, that wouldn't have happened because Ethan that's just not the sort of bloke that he is. And then the second one, well, we've overcommitted and they catch us in transition and it's a good finish by Randall. So I didn't think Peterborough were great. I thought this first half both teams are pretty poor. And like I said, first goal changes the game, and Peterborough go and get it, and look, it looks like a comfortable win for them, but I can tell you very much wasn't. So, yes, thank God I don't have to go back to London Road for another year at least, anyway.
Absolutely, the biggest numbers we've had in the stream this season on the return of Jake. They must have known he's coming back. So if you could like the stream, guys, it's just under 100 of you in. That'd be massively appreciated. Get subscribing down below. We're so close now to 12,000 subscribers. Are you coming to the Mem on the 18th of November? It's International Weekend, I believe. I think so.
It is.
Yeah, so I think it's going to get called off, which is I'll still be going to the Tuesday night game, but Bristol Rovers away is in my top 5 away games. As an away game, it's not a great away game, but I love going to Bristol. I think it's a superb away game. Next up, we've got 3 games to go. Then we'll go into the League One table. Then we've got a few games next week. Then a Q&A to end it. It's going to be an hour tonight. We're going to time it well. Oh, here we go. Portsmouth 2, Port Vale 0. Portsmouth, dear Lord, what a sad little life. We get it. You want to win promotion and you want to be everyone in front of you and you're good at football. Grow up. Now, again, Colby Bishop, the magic hat, 8-12 for him this season. Portsmouth are sublime. They've won the last 5 home matches, the last 5 matches, 17 points at home, which is the most in the division. 2.41 expected goals yesterday. They've also got the highest expected goals in the division on 21.6. Peterborough are the second highest on 20.6. And this is a team that have got a couple of injuries. Pack's been out, and they've had a few injuries early in the season as well. Another clean sheet, which is good. They didn't have to do it the hard way, although at times it was a little bit sweaty. On Portsmouth, just quickly, huge win. They go into the international break. Obviously, I know there's still 4 games. Top of the league, played one more than Oxford, but they've got a 6-point gap now.
Yeah, and you know what? I think Tom said this. Pompey need to start starting games a lot better.
Yes.
Yesterday, Port Vale were very unfortunate not to perhaps go a goal up. They played fantastic, and we know Port Vale can do that because they've done it for pretty much all season so far. They've started games really well, and like I said, the hard work they put in that first half probably meant they probably should have gone in 1-0 up. But when you've got the rub of the green like Pompey do at the moment, you come through patches like that unscathed, and they didn't have too many big chances in the first half. Second half, completely switched on his head. The first goal from Bishop, it's a good ball in, and he's just in the right place at the right time, a bit like Rob Street to tuck it in. And then the penalty. No arguments for me. I think it's penalty. And Bishop puts it away. So, the most complete striker. And you know what? The thing that impressed me about Pompey yesterday, so many changes in that team. There was no Paul, there was no Pack, there was no Robertson, and they still, the Sadie came in, Sean Raggett came in, Ben Stevenson came in, and they still performed to a level that would beat Port Vale, and Port Vale are one of those sides that are chasing the playoffs and not a million miles away. Your mate Paddy didn't have his best appearance in a Pompey shirt yesterday, but I think I watched I don't know if you've seen it, Ben, a clip of when Paddy Lane got subbed off yesterday, and the Port Vale commentators said this crowd are cheering him like he scored both goals and set another 3 up, and he's ran all day. That crowd at Fratton Park does things to players, opposition players, and most importantly, Pompey players, and it gets them over the line. And I think that Pompey crowd would have helped them significantly get over the line yesterday. So, play up Pompey, I'm sure. They were fantastic.
Absolutely agree on your points on Port Vale. I'll just say something on Portsmouth quickly as an away fan, and you've experienced this. We were 3-0 up after 40 minutes, right? And everyone was going, job done. I went. And Portsmouth, by the way, were in circus. They were a joke that season. They were nowhere near getting a glove on the top 6. They were close, but I thought they're not good enough. My mates were saying this is done. 3-0. What a result. We're in a relegation battle. We need this. At the time, I think we were 12 without a win. We ended up going 21 without a win. Oh, sorry, 1 win in 21. That coming through the bottom of the league. I went, this is not done. And I went, the fans are still behind. And I kind of felt suffocated as an away fan. I kind of felt like I felt I was in the act because I thought, sorry my language, shit me. Like this is
It's like Anfield, isn't it? It's like Anfield.
It's top. I think it's because of it's smaller, and Bristol Rovers are very similar as well. That's got to be said, and that's why I like going to Bristol. I think it's a smaller version, and because it's old fashioned and you can hear everyone. And they got 1 goal before the break went, and the second half was torture. They kept going forward, and they had no quality. And I'm like, they're going to score. As soon as you got that second, wow, the crowd went up. And when they scored the third, wow. Portsmouth, by the way, I was looking through a few stats before. Most goals between the 0 and 15, Bolton lead it 5-1. 16 to 30, Blackpool lead it 5-0. 31st to 45, there is Portsmouth. They scored 6 in that time, conceded 0. After the break, Barnsley next, he scored 7 goals between the minutes of 46 and 60. After that, it's Charlton on 61 to 75, 5-1. I know they scored 2 goals in the 83rd and the 81st and the 83rd minute yesterday. Yeah. And between the 75th and the 90th minute, Oxford have scored 9 goals. Going back to Portsmouth, where you say they've not started well, in the first half, they are 6th in the table on 20 points. In the second half, they're set the joint top of the league with Barnsley on 23 points, which I think tells you a little bit everything. It's only 3 points, but that is how tight League One is this season. We'll come to Shrewsbury now, who I would say Matty Taylor is in trouble. That result has got him out of it. Dan Udo with the goal. He scored Shrewsbury's last goal 42 days ago against Fleetwood. He gets the next one in the late on. Sam Hoskins missed a penalty, which hit the bar and kind of somehow stayed out. Both teams are on 13 points. Both teams have won 4. Both teams have drawn 1. And both teams have lost 6. Up and down seasons for both, but I see both of these teams getting between 50 and 56 points at the end of the season, being safe and no real. They'll flirt with the bottom 4, but they'll be all right come May.
Yeah, Salop were lucky boys yesterday.
Northampton were the better team.
Northampton were by far the better team.
0.63 to 1.5 to expected goals.
Looking at the attacking momentum graph, just completely had the pants down at Shrewsbury yesterday. And do you know what? That pressure all built. I look at the second half, Ben. Shrewsbury have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 little lines above the middle zone. Northampton have got about 30. Tells you all you need to know, really. And all that pressure accumulated in the penalty, which you'd back Sam Hoskins to score. Given how well he's played this year, scored some very important goals. One against us, certainly. I think he got one against Reading in midweek as well. If he scores that and it ends 1-0 to Northampton, you think, fair play, it's been the right result. But League One doesn't work that way. And Matty Taylor's, you're right, but Matty Taylor's job is safe now, because we all thought international week, time to change your manager. So many clubs do it and use it as an excuse. But he's got out of jail, and Dan Udo's done it again. A very good striker at this level who knows where the net is. So, Shrewsbury's still not great. I disagree with you in terms of both these teams being comfortably safe. I think one of them will be, and it's not Shrewsbury. I'm alarmed at their XG and the cramped chances they create, and the fact they're defensively very weak as well. So I think Cobblers will be fine, but Salop, I'm just so worried about them. So worried about them.
I'm not. I'm open. Come on, come down with us. Come on. Last game, I could just see a little smile go up. The cheeks are out. Stevenage 1, Wigan 0. Here he is. Matt Farley's going to be smiling away at home. The press with a goal. 2 goals this season for him. It's another victory, back to winning ways after a difficult week. Playing Bolton and, playing Oxford in that time, conceding 6 goals.
Played well on Tuesday night there, Ben. They played really well. They went toe to toe with Bolton, and they could have come away with something, because I tell you
BGR again.
Yeah, BGR, second top scorer. He should. I'm not being funny. Bolton should have been down to 10 men. I don't know how on earth he's not sent the lad off who's elbowed Piergiani in the face. He's given a penalty, but nothing else. So Stevenage are unfortunate at Bolton, but I think they got their just rewards on Saturday.
Well, it's the second home result of the season. They won on the opening home game of the season, second game of the season against Shrewsbury 2-0, and they've won this. They had to do it the Steve Evans type of way, but they got over that line. It's a huge result. Wigan, worried for them, lost 4 games now in a row, lost 6 of the last 7. 0.41 expected goals. Lang sent off. I think he's been poor this year. And if he hadn't have already accumulated what he has done in the last 3 to 4 years, he'd be nowhere near that starting lineup. Godu and Humphreys have caused a little bit of havoc in recent weeks. Humphreys put a great tweet out before that. I don't know if he's deleted since, or he'll definitely probably get fined for that, won't he? About what he's put about referees saying, it's. He asked on Tuesday night in the game, that they played. Why did they get a yellow card? And look, that can be taken 2 ways. Like, why is that? Why is that out their ball? Or ref, why is that their ball? And it's the way you say it sometimes, isn't it? Obviously led to a booking. Wigan, I'm slightly starting to worry for them.
Yeah, me too, because Fleetwood are above them in the table, so that must tell you everything you need to know.
Get in, come on.
Get in. Well, yeah, it's yeah. Do you know what? I think the whole last time they were at this level with Callum Lang, that's completely buying him time in his team at the moment. But Stevenage, excellent at what they do. We say this every week, that they win convincingly as well. I think it probably could have been 1 or 2 more, but yeah, they're very good, Stevenage, mate, at what they do, like I said. And Wigan, when do you start to become concerned with Wigan because of how they're playing? So yeah, it's not one I've done a load of research on, but it was I think the scoreline reflected the performances from both sides.
Absolutely. They are the 11 games. Burton, Cambridge tomorrow, Jake. Just quickly, again, big game for both sides, really. I think Cambridge need to get back to winning ways. If they lose it all of a sudden, then you're kind of thinking, are they coming slowly down after a good start? They win it all, back on a momentum trade. Losing 4-0 against Barnsley was tough. But for Burton, if they can win it and keep up that unbeaten, drew against Fleetwood, drew against Reading, beat Wigan, win it, all of a sudden, then you've got, a couple of, you beat Port Vale, you're 6 unbeaten, aren't you, under Dino Manria?
Yeah. I think I've gone for Cambridge to win based on what I've seen so far this year. But yeah, it'll be difficult for them to go to the Pirelli. Obviously, they beat Wigan there in midweek, and they'll be looking to do it again. Is it on Sky? Or was
Yes.
Why?
Well, so I don't know if you saw the tweet in the week. Peter Crouch. Now, the number 15 is already taken at Burton, right? Thanks to Ed Walker for pointing that out to me, because I wouldn't have known. So I think Bovril, he's when I've listened to his podcast, I've probably listened to a couple of episodes the last years. I used to listen to it all the time. But I tell you what is a good podcast, That League Good Podcast. Go and get your podcast with me, Jake, Jack, and Tom. Plug, there you are. I think he's advertising Bovril as a new shirt sponsor for Burton, and I think he's going to be there tomorrow doing something. So that'd be interesting. But it's going to be very interesting for sure. Jake, are you coming back to YouTube, by the way? That's another question I've got.
Yes, when I get my new computer, mate. Yeah, absolutely.
Channel, where can you find it?
Channel 72, mate. Come and have a little gander. Content will be starting soon. Once I start paying Ben for the StreamYard, I can use it on StreamYard. He teaches me what I'm doing. So yeah, that's all going to come. But yeah, just been taking a bit of time off with things going on with work and stuff. I start a new job in a couple of weeks as well, so it's all been very hectic. But it will be returning before Christmas anyway.
Absolutely. Now we're going to go into the Sky Bet League One table. We'll start off from the bottom. There we are. Cheltenham Town gets a point to go back to 2 points, their first point in 49 days, levelling the point drought that Fleetwood levelled earlier this season. Wigan dropped to 23rd, another defeat for Reading on the road, the only team in League One yet to get a point away from home. Some bad defeats in there just recently. Fleetwood now 2 points adrift after a good week. 4-1 defeat, Hammer's goal difference. Burton Albion, without playing, drop a couple of positions. Carlisle fly to 11 points out of 12 games. Shrewsbury go up a place by going to 18th. Northampton just above. They played each other yesterday, coming out in the draw. Leyton Orient next, 14 points from 11. That could be going up to 17. That could be 2 results in a week. And if so, that'd be a good week for them. Cambridge United, 14 points before tomorrow's clash at the Pirelli Stadium. Lincoln City drop into the Fleetwood Town bottom half of the table on 15 points. 1 result, 1 win in their last 5, 2 defeats. But against 2 good sides, away at Fratton Park and away at London Road. Bristol Rovers dropped to 13th. A good result on the week against Port Vale, but 2 defeats on Saturdays. Away at Peteborough and away at Oxford. 2 sides you'd fancy between the top 6 at the end of the season. Jake, sum that bottom half up for me. What is going to change between now and the next international break in 5 weeks' time?
I don't like looking at it, Ben. It's certainly what my stance is on it. Looking at it, I think we're going to see a couple of teams. I think the gap between the top half and the bottom half is going to grow. I think you've got some teams currently in the top half that will drop down. And I expect some of those, the likes of us and Bristol Rovers, to certainly swap and take a position up in the top 12. I think you're perhaps looking at a bit of a mix-up between the teams currently sort of 18th and down as well. I think that 2 of Shrewsbury, Carlisle and Burton will be in the bottom 4 by the time we get the next international break. I can see a bit of an upturn in form for Fleetwood and perhaps more strangely so Cheltenham as well. I know they're 8 points adrift, but I can see them sort of, now they've got a point against Derby, I can see them sort of coming up and challenging those sort of, making the gap a little bit smaller. So, lots of change in that bottom half, hopefully, from a Lincoln point of view. Hopefully from a Fleetwood point of view as well, mate. I hope you pick up. Not this month, though. This month you can F off because we play you, don't we?
See you in 2 weeks, buddy. Top half now. Charlton rise to 12. They're on 15 points after 11 games, after going 6 unbeaten, 3 wins, 3 draws. However, they are only 6 points off fourth and 5 points off the playoffs. That's an impressive stat for them. Exeter City dropped down to 11th. We're top of the table just 2 weeks ago, but that just shows you what a 3-game week can do to you. 4 defeats in a row and a 9-0 defeat in the Papa John's Trophy. Blackpool in 10th, a good week, a good couple of weeks for them. A win at Barnsley, a defeat at home to Derby was disappointing. A point yesterday, I'm sure they would have taken before kickoff, but again, they could have been on 18 points and just outside that top 6. Port Vale dropped to 9th. They seem to be in and around that, but they are slowly slipping. 4 defeats in 5, all started at home at Vale Park just recently. A lost at home to Burton Albion 3-2, just like they did last season. Derby County slowly rising, 8th in the division now, 5 unbeaten, 2 points off 6th, and again only 3 points off 4th, 4 points off 3rd. Still a while to get to the big boys, but I think there's the gap between those top 2 and everyone else is slowly growing. And I'm sure Jack Ward said before, Oxford and Portsmouth are the Plymouth and Ipswich of last season. Wycombe Wanderers grow to 7th, just outside the playoffs by a point. Bolton in 6th, Peteborough 5th. Stevenage back in 4th place and back on 21 points. That's another milestone hit for them. Barnsley grow to 3rd and put some respect on their team's hands. Again, they've had a difficult couple of weeks at Oakwell, but away from home they are flying. Best away record in League One. Oxford 5 points clear with a game in hand on Portsmouth and Barnsley, and a couple of good results for them. 5 straight wins in a row, and defenders scoring goals for fun. And Portsmouth sit top of the league and invincible as it stands. 34 games to go. Can Portsmouth do it?
Why did we pick a Pompey and an Oxford fan to start a podcast with?
Yeah. I was just kind of thinking, my mum said to me before, "Oh, how was your podcast?" I went, "Well, considering 2 are going up, 1 are going to stay up, and we're going to go, I was kind of thinking, yeah, went well, that, thanks."
It's good, isn't it? The top half's very, very tight, as you'd expect. You're looking at some teams with games in hand on those. I think if we've got 2 games on Posh and can equal what they've got, which would be good. Wycombe as well, they could overtake Posh, and Derby can get there. Yeah, Derby will be above Posh if they win a game in hand as well. So lots of movement expected in that top 6. I imagine some teams there, like I said earlier, you'd think maybe Exeter might drop down. Port Vale already started the descent down the table. So it's going to be interesting. And I know Matt Farley's not going to enjoy this. I think the Stevenage train will perhaps be halted in the next coming week. So it's a great start, and I think Stevenage need to just stay up this season. And the problem is, while the longer they're up there, the expectations are going to climb, and then teams going to go
halfway to safety though, Jake. You think 50 points?
Yeah,
another win and a draw, you're there. I kind of think, look at Port Vale and Exeter, and they started well last season, and Port Vale went after.
Yeah.
I think they didn't win away from New Year's Day till Charlton away this year.
Yeah, and I think that the longer they're up there, teams are going to go there to try and frustrate them, and I don't see them as a team having the ability to go and break down a low block. They need teams to come at them and get and throw themselves in a physical battle rather than trying to pick little nicky passes and play it through the gap. So I expect Borough to fall down. But do you know what? It's fantastic. The quality at the top end of League One, I'd say even the quality in the whole division, Ben, because even the teams at the bottom have got very good players, but the performances that the players right at the very top are putting in, you've seen Ipswich go straight up to the Championship, and what are they, second? They were brilliant yesterday against Preston. I think if you put Oxford and Pompey in the Championship next year, I wouldn't say they're doing something similar to what Ipswich are now, but you wouldn't be surprised if they're comfortably staying up. It's an hour now, by the way.
Absolutely agree. All right, don't worry. We're coming to the end. Last 5 minutes added on. There we go for the Q&A part as ever. But one last time, The Football Vlogging Awards, Football Content Awards finalists close tonight for voting. You can vote. The link is in the description. And for one last time, for Jack Ward's sake, we're going to play that video. See you in 30 seconds. Big thank you to you lot at home, the viewers. Again, I'm massively appreciative of you. Every week you tune in. We have been nominated for the Football Content Awards. Year number 5 years in a row. Cod's Vlogs has been nominated this year for Best Content Creator in the EFL, and I need your help. Go down to the description below, click the link, go to Best Content Creator Football League. There's an arrow tab. Go down, press Cod's Vlog, scroll to the bottom, and press vote. There we are. One last time, we had to play it. So go down the description. There's a link there. Vote for us. We're up against some very good content creators, and that would be appreciated. Any final questions before we go in the comments would be appreciated. Couple of games next week, Jake. Those include your boys do play against Burton. What's your thoughts on that?
It's a game we need to win. We don't know. The Leyton Orient game is still up in the air, and after Posh on the weekend, we need a win to come from somewhere to push us back into that top half. And is there a better team to play perhaps than Burton? They're not great. I mean, we normally play Burton and one team win a 3. They win the other then win 3. So they've won their 3 from this year. So maybe it's our turn to start beating them. I'd like us to think so, and we can soar back into the top half. But we need a striker. And so, it was great to see Shadipo back. He was warming up on Saturday, and we were doing the Shadipo. So I'm sure you know how it goes. And he was just there giving a bit of a dance in front of the away end. It was great. But yeah, we need a win on Saturday, and it's our game in hand against a lot of teams as well. So we need to get it sorted.
When we played Shrewsbury, they looked defensively solid. They've got good players: Feedy, Dunkley, Winchester. Shipley's out injured at the moment. Udo, Max Matter just needs a goal. As soon as he gets one, he'll be flying. I believe that. Morosi and all the good players. But I kind of think creativity at times you are very poor. At 1-0, you were a man up, gets up. You were very poor against Fleetwood in that second half, and that kind of thought, well, ooh. And then you went to Carlisle, we're poor. You were awful at Oxford, and it was a great result for you. It really is, but you need more of those. I think Matty Taylor, if he doesn't get results playing that way of football, you'll be eaten alive. If you play good football and you score goals, sometimes you'll be given time. So, there's no agenda against Shrewsbury. I think you're a good football club. You're a League One football club. You work within your budgets and you've got good players. Blackpool Stevenage, that's a tough game. Both sides looking, upwards rather than downwards at the moment. Bristol R was faced Exeter, 7-goal thriller last year, Jake. Exeter coming off that 4-3. Giovanni Brown maybe coming back to haunt them. However, suspension, so that won't be happening. Carlisle against Leyton Orient will be an interesting game. If Carlisle can really up it and get another point there, that'll be good for them. And I think that's it for those games. That is it. There we are, 4 games. Again, I'm not seeing the darts yet, so I'll watch it. Production is decent. Thank you so much, George. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe. I think we're 19 away from 12.8k now. It's been a long while. It's at 12.7. So if you could subscribe, it does help out so much. And it's free to do so as well. Already voted. Thank you so much. Can I get an interview on a Tuesday night game in March? Absolutely, mate. Just message me near at time. Who do you think is the next for the sack in the league? Well, I said Matty Taylor at Shrewsbury. I'll look at the table now. And, we could put it up as well. At the bottom end of the table first, Cheltenham and Fleetwood have already changed. Burton, I don't think will change under Dino Mamrie. I think that run lately has given him another 5 games. Reading, I don't think you're going to sack Ruben Sellers. I think it'd be stupid to do that. Paul Simpson is safe. They could go down and lose the next 34 games. They're not going to do that, but they're safe. Matty Taylor, I think, could be asked some questions for the way they're playing. Northampton, absolutely fine. Leyton Orient, Richie Wellens, absolutely fine. Mark Bonner's just signed a new 4-year deal, hasn't he? Mark Kennedy, I think will be fine. Jake, I don't think there's going to be any questions. Maybe lose a few more games. I don't think so. I think individuals that ask for his head, I think striker is the reason. I don't think it's anything down to Mark Kennedy. Joey Barton at Bristol Rovers, potentially.
Yeah, that was the one I was going to think of, and certainly from the bottom half.
If Bristol Rovers want to push on, and Joey Barton is saying all this about, I'm the reason, I'm going to be the one that takes. He speaks well, Joey, but he needs to deliver.
I think what he says in the press every week might go against him. I think Rovers, the supporters might get fed up of it. I think they might come to light a bit like what you did when things are going bad. I mean, that's from the bottom half, and from the top half, bring the top half up, Ben. There's not really many.
No, Charlton have already changed. Gary Carlisle,
yeah,
3 or 4 more, but I don't think they will. Critchley, I don't think will, because why would you bring him back? Andy Crosby's going to be fine. Paul Warne, they're on a good run. I don't think they're going to sack him. Matt Bloomfield again. Wycombe don't sack managers. Talking of sacking managers, Gareth Ainsworth could be out of a job come tomorrow. Bolton Wanderers won't sack Ian Evatt. Peteborough, Darren Ferguson's absolutely fine. Steve Evans, come on now, you're not going to sack him. Barnsley, not a chance. Oxford United, Liam Manning, come on. I want to see just Leyton see what this season.
Imagine if one of them go to Wednesday, Mourinho or Liam Manning.
Yeah. Mourinho, sorry, Mourinho. I'll get him confused. But one's, a multiple Champions League winner and a Premier League winner, and the other one's in charge of the Blues. Again, we'll come to the comments one final time. I've voted Ben. Thank you so much. Up the owls. Bonner. I don't think Bonner will leave Cambridge. I really don't. Rose Exeter is off. Who is it? Well, there we are. Again, welcome back to the Imps Mide. Again, how many goals does Colby Bishop score in the Prem for Man City? Ooh.
Not that many.
6.
Yeah, I less than 5, I would say. Not for
and
me.
if he's on pens. If he's on pens, 10.
Yeah,
maybe.
but he wouldn't be on pens because Haaland would bully him off them, mate.
Yeah.
So no.
Well, I think, all right then, if he took over Erling Haaland at City, how many did he score?
4?
I think 6 to 8. Again, Evans to Wednesday. Nah, not a chance. That is a move that just has Ainsworth to keep you out. What? Like, the club love you. You love them. They've kind of got you back enjoying football again after a tedious time at Gills. Why go?
Yeah,
his football's not great. And Wednesday, Stevenage don't mind. It's Evans' ball. But Wednesday, good luck.
Wednesday going to appoint a foreign manager. I think they're going to appoint a German fella from what I have read in the press this week. So
yeah. So that means they're going to appoint an English manager. We all know. Yeah. Jake, thank you so much for coming on. Go and follow Jake on Twitter. Jake_Tong 89.
89. You cheeky.
98 on Twitter. Sorry, I mixed up. On Twitter for some football takes. And again, come over to that League One podcast. And again, if you are new, please please subscribe to the channel. And Jake, any final words, mate?
No, just there's no show next week, is there, Ben? You probably should have told you that.
But
there is.
We will have a little treat for you. Don't worry, we're going to arrange that. There's a little treat coming your way. So we won't be here next week. We'll be back here in 2 weeks, but there'll be plenty of League One content on the channel. So thank you so much for watching today's live stream. A big over and out. Up the cards. And Jake.
Up the Imps.
Up the Sky Bet League One. See you later. Enjoy your weeks. Thank you so much for watching and all your support. Up the cards.
Up the Imps. Good.
Come on now.
Look at your little face, Ben.
A face that his mother struggles to love.